In our first story, we asked the question, what is the state of the temporary shelters and how many of them do we have already? Now, these shelters are supposed to house displaced residents of Old Fadama following the AMA-led demolition in that area. It's been 24 hours after government disclosed to Joy News in an interview it will put up temporary shelters in 48 hours near Amasaman. My colleague Latif Idris has been following up on this promise. He's joined me over the telephone with the very latest on this. First, he was at Appiah Kotoku. He reported that the proposed relocation of the displaced squatters has not taken place. Now, Appiah Kotoku is located along the Amasama route, and according to Latif Idris, there was really nothing happening there as far as new construction of temporary structures are concerned. Now let's get the very latest from the ground as I'm joined over the telephone by Latif Idris. Hello, Latif.
Yeah, Kamani.
You visited Pokwase too. What is the situation like in Pokwase?
Kamani, I'm not in Pokwase right now. We are about 50 meters away from Pokwase. We are on our way back from Appiah Kotoku.
Which is fine. Which is all right. You visited Appiah Kotoku about an hour ago. Tell us what you saw.
Yeah, Kameli, you know now the twist in this whole thing has to do with the fact that now the ministry's position is that they are relocating the market from Old Fadama to Appiah Kotoku, not the people. So the businesses are what they are trying to relocate here, and that the people can live elsewhere. But speaking to the assemblyman of the Appiah Kotoku electoral area, Honorable Johnny Atitogo, he is the immediate past assembly member of this area. What he told me was that the land on which the stores are built, there is an injunction on the land that government failed to pay up what is supposed to pay to the traditional council. And so the traditional council has taken the case to court. And so there is an injunction on the land. And so even the market cannot be commissioned. Now, there are a lot of stores built on that side of the market back in 2009, 2010, which has not been open. Not even one of the stores have been open. And what the assembly member of that area told me is that there is an injunction on that land. And so as we speak, even the business that the ministry takes the position that they are going to move here cannot stand because the people wouldn't allow it to go through Kameni.
Now, who told you that these persons were not going to be relocated to Appiah Kotoku except for the businesses in Old Fadama?
Kameni, can you come again?
I'm asking who told you that the residents of Old Fadama will not be relocated to Appiah Kotoku, rather the markets will be relocated to Appiah Kotoku. We lost Latif Idris there. Now, Deputy Minister for Works and Housing, Samson, he however told Joy News government is putting up temporary shelters at a designated location near Amasaman to relocate evicted residents of Old Fadama who are willing to move from the area earmarked for demolition. Samson Ahi, in an interview with Joy News, as Gladys Osei already reviewed, the temporary shelters will be completed in 48 hours so the affected squatters can be relocated.
With regards to the demolition, which has resulted in displacement of a lot of Ghanaians, as a matter of urgency, what we are doing now is to provide temporary shelter for those displaced. I mean, I'm sure you saw yesterday that a lot of them want to go back, and the government is making provision to provide transportations to evacuate those who want to go back home. And so yesterday alone, more than seven buses left Accra for Tamale.
I see.
And this is being continued today. Another group of people who don't want to go.
7 buses left, but you know some had to sleep at the station because they could not get transportation.
Yeah, we are providing free transportation.
Okay.
And I think it's because we only started it yesterday, but we are continuing today. So we hope to make sure that anybody who wants to go back will be provided with transportation.
Okay.
And another group of people who don't want to go, but want to, I mean, because of the dislocation, they don't have a place of abode.
Okay.
As I said, that there are plans in place to provide them with shelter at the, getting to Amasaman, we have a government land which we are going to develop within 48 hours to ensure that we will make these temporary measures available.
When is this starting? When is 48 hours counting? It's 48 hours starting to count from today, Wednesday, the 24th of June, 2015.
Yes.
So come Friday, the 23rd of June,
yes,
there will be housing, there will be shelter for the displaced, temporal shelters for displaced persons of the Sodom and Gomorrah.
Who want to relocate?
Okay, who would want to relocate from the Sodom and Gomorrah
to the place that government has acquired to provide these temporary shelters.
Sure.
What do you do when you're thrown out of your home with little or no option in terms of where next to seek accommodation? That's the fate of hundreds of residents of Old Fadama following last Monday's demolition by city authorities. A number of them have left for their homes up north, but those left behind are having a hard time sleeping at night. Wondering how they sleep, Derek Akwasam will tell you more in the following report.
The bonfires signify the presence of human beings. These residents are just a fraction of those still hanging around at Accra's oldest slum after the AMA's demolition exercise was started over the weekend. More than 14,000 people have been displaced and properties running into thousands of cities lost. But as dusk turns to night, one question troubles the minds of these people. Where do they lay their heads? The simplest solution is to rest their bodies on mattresses and planks of wood they managed to salvage from the debris. And they have to sleep in turns.
Oh, some will sleep. Another time, some people will also come sleep. While some people will be sitting here until early dawn.
Why will they sit here until early dawn?
They will be sitting here.
Why?
Because we don't have any place to sit. We are just here. So until this early dawn. So we will be sitting this way. Some people will be standing up. They will not get a place to sit. Even these people, if they just sleep small, we will have to wake them up, or some people will not sleep self.
We will
sleep here tonight. We have nowhere to go. Our homes have been demolished. My child also sleeps beside me. He nearly fell into the fire last night. The authorities have not been fair to us. We need help.
Because
like how I sleep, no. I mean, when I sleep small time, me too, I walk up and my friends, you know, so someone will come and lie down also. Them also sleep small.
So roughly how many hours can you sleep?
Like I can sleep 1 hour, and one of my friends also come and sleep 1 hour until tomorrow.
But is that enough for you? Is the 1 hour okay for you?
No, it's not okay for me.
So how is it worrying you?
Because like I can feel sleeping and they wake me up, so I will not feel. So me, like how I sleep, I lie here, no, me I not feel because I just sit here for nothing. Some can sit with this fire until tomorrow. So we are not feeling how we are sitting here. Because like when we get time to go our place, we will go.
They also tell me they lost most of their food items to the demolition exercise, meaning they cannot cook. A number of them sleep on empty stomachs and are likely to develop ulcer or other medical conditions if their situation doesn't improve. For them, it's a feeling of frustration and dejection. From Old Fadama in Accra, my name is Derek Akwasam for Joy News.
The Accra to Tamale GPRTU branch at Agbogboloshi has started mobilizing funds to transport displaced residents of Old Fadama to their home regions. One of the executives at the transport terminal says the move has become necessary due to the harsh conditions the displaced persons are living in at the moment.
Almost 1 week now, the people here are stranded, and with the assistance of DKM Transport, in fact, we have been able to transport some of the passengers home. We still find it difficult to get buses. In fact, most of the people have lost almost everything. They couldn't, salvage their goods. The security men prevented them from, taking their goods. So they left almost everything there. So we have to provide them with transport as well as water and other facilities. For instance, on the first day, a woman was in labor. In fact, we find we were all in tears. She delivered in the open. So in fact, it's a very pathetic situation. So we are appealing to our brothers, especially the MPs. They should come to our aid.
Meanwhile, some of the travelers who spoke to the news team said they are yet to benefit from the free transportation package announced by the Deputy Local Government Minister, Neelante Vanderpoy, on Tuesday.
Because yesterday we hear say they are trying to give us bus. This MP, Odiodio MP, he said they are giving us bus to be going. I don't know whether they have been saying or they are giving to GPRT or they have been giving to elders over there. We don't know. So since up to now, we couldn't get any bus. So they should stop saying that they have been giving us a bus, because we have elders from north. They have been calling us and they're asking, saying government said they have been giving us bus to be taken to Tamale. But up to now, we couldn't get. So today we try and get some bus. They have been paying 50 Ghana each. And the people have been saying that it's not good. But we are appealing the drivers, say they should take them to the north. So sometimes we are not taking our commissions. We are just helping our sisters to be going.
The majority caucus in Parliament has paid a courtesy call on the leadership of the Old Fadama slum here in Accra to empathize with victims of the ongoing demolition by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. The exercise has seen the destruction of hundreds of structures the AMA says were partly responsible for the June 3 floods in the city. Majority Leader in Parliament, Alban Buckburn, told journalists the visit was to assess the extent of damage to get government to respond swiftly to concerns of the affected persons.
We saw on TV the destruction of places in which at least you had a cover over your heads. Yesterday, we met your leaders and we told them that we'll be here today to see for ourselves what has happened. And so we are here to see at first hand the level of destruction, the pain and suffering of the people, and the other collateral damages that have been done, so that together we see how to plan to at least alleviate your pain, your suffering, and then put in place a system that will prevent such occurrences. And so we will also be able to support the country. Let me assure all of you that we are with you and we do everything within the power that you have given us to ensure that justice is done. I will just plead with you to be patient, the tolerance, the maturity that you are showing, and allow us to tour the place so that we can properly report to Parliament to assist the government to respond appropriately to your urgent needs.
Some workers of the Ghana Youth Employment and Entrepreneurial Development Agency are protesting the outgoing executive director's decision to employ over 30 people at the National Headquarters. The angry workers say Mr. Kobi Champon failed to adhere to due process, describing his decision as illegal. Joy News can confirm that the recruitment is ongoing, the recruitment ongoing, which the Human Resource Director is unaware of. Now, an Accra Circuit Court is set July 13 for the ruling on sodomy trial for Dr. Ali Gabas. Now, the court will deliver its ruling on this trial of the Takrady-based doctor who is facing charges for allegedly sodomizing a 16-year-old. My colleague Kwasi Afreniama was in court earlier and shared details of happenings in court with me on News Desk.
A very brief court proceedings today held in cameras has been the case over the past 5 sessions or so, and the presiding judge, Richard Jimambudu, just gave the lawyers for both sides the date for this ruling, July 13, as you mentioned earlier. But just to refresh our mind, this is how it has all unfolded since Dr. Ali Gabas appeared in court first in November last year. 8 months now. First, a number of witnesses have been called by the prosecution. 5 of them in all. First was the victim himself, the 16-year-old victim who testified, Manasseh Azuria Weniao Manasseh, whose investigation led to the arrest of Dr. Gabas, also appeared before the circuit court. The doctor at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital who conducted this operation, this test on the victim also appeared. The investigator in the case appeared, so the father of the boy. Now, after these witnesses had appeared before the court, the lawyers for the defense cross-examined these 5 witnesses. And after they had cross-examined the witnesses, the state lawyers, representatives from the Attorney General's Department, also cross-examined the 5 witnesses. So they cross-examined rather Dr. Sule Ali Gabas. Now, after this, there was a bit of controversy over whether the case should move on or not, because lawyers for Dr. Gabas opposed to the evidence that the state had presented to the court. They filed a submission of no case, but this was struck out by the circuit court, presided once again by Richard Jimambudu. After this was struck out, they filed for stay of execution. That is that the case should not, the court should not continue hearing the case because they had filed another appeal at the High Court. This was also struck out, so they had no option but to open their defense. Somewhere last week, both sides filed their addresses that essentially contained whatever case they are making, whilst lawyers for Dr. Ali Gabas insist that he is innocent of this particular charge of sodomizing the 16-year-old.
Watching Joy News today. There's more to come. Do stay. Now, President Mahama has arrived in the Bunahafo region with his regional working tour. He is scheduled to inspect ongoing government projects and inaugurate the finished ones. During his 2-day tour of the Bunahafo region, President Mahama will, among other things, inaugurate a new water system at Fentita in Burikum and continue to Doma East to inspect the completed polyclinic at Wamfie. The president will end his day with a visit to Intotoroso to again inaugurate a new water system. Bunahafo regional correspondent Nestor Kafui-Ajoma is on the soil. The president has joined us with more on his rounds. Hello, Kafui. Well, we lost Kafui-Ajoma there in a bit. We should have him back over the telephone and find out exactly where the president is and what his next few moves will be. The president is expected to inaugurate some new projects in the Bunahafo region, including new water systems, and also inspect old projects in the same region. We should get the very latest on the ground now. Correspondent Nestor Kafui-Ajoma has joined us over the telephone again. Hello, Nestor. We lost Nestor there. We'll move away from that story briefly. We'll come back to it in a bit. We're going to go to Parliament today. And the Appointment Committee of Parliament is recommended for approval Justice Yao Pao and Gabriel Pwamang for appointment to the Supreme Court despite 2 petitions pending against Mr. Puamang. The committee in its report to the House is recommending the petitioner goes to court to challenge Gabriel Puamang's appointment because the issue raised is beyond the mandate of Parliament. We'll bring you more on that in a bit. But let's stay right there in Parliament. Popular reggae musician and radio presenter Blakk Rasta is due to appear before the House's Privileges Committee today over his comments that majority of members of Parliament use marijuana. The MP who raised the matter in Parliament says the comment smacks of disrespect for the August House. So what is Abubakar Ahmed, popularly known as Blakk Rasta, to expect today? Deputy Ranking Member of the Privileges Committee, Nana Mwako, has been speaking to Joy News.
He's allowed to bring in his counsellor, and then the questions will be put to him pertaining to what really he said. And then some of those things he have to tell us exactly what he meant about 80% of the parliamentary smoke we.
So for in case of Abubakar Ahmed, also known as Blakk Rasta, the allegation against him is alleged that 80% of members of parliament smoke marijuana or weed. What materials do you have to support this claim?
At the moment, we have recently audio. We also have the print media. Those are 2 things that we have. I think that's the most. And then we have some witnesses that will also we invite them to come and give us a testimony on that. And the person who also raised the question on the floor also will come. So we have those people who will come and answer some few questions for us.
So the audio you have listened to, what does it contain?
It's contained, as you said, 80%. That's the key. Really, that's the key. It's 80% of parliamentary smoke we. So we want to be certain on that. And then he has to assure us, where if he has the names, he could provide the names for us, and at least we know who smokes weed here.
In the audio that you listened, did he use the word smoke or use?
He said smoke, and he said, used. If you say used, you see, we are mixing words. Used, smoke. What is the difference, really? If you use something, it's like you're inhaling it. And if you smoke something, they say you are doing the same inhalation. So if you say you used, you smoke, yeah, really the term does not really change how it was put. I don't think it's really the nice way to say it.
What about Professor Diodu?
His case, okay, after tomorrow probably will affirm the date for next week, probably.
Has he been served? Are you aware of this?
Really, the letter was written, but I don't think it has been served yet. But I think tomorrow, after closing, we will be able to affirm the date when he will be going to the premise committees.
Away from Parliament, doctors and the Union of Health Service Workers yesterday boycotted a planned meeting with the Health Ministry in a move that will further strain negotiations on their conditions of service. The meeting was for the workers to sign a draft framework that spells out the conditions of service for doctors and other health service workers. The supposed signing of a framework to spell out the details and terms of engagement for public health workers fell through after the doctors said they were not adequately informed about the contents of the documents. Matilda Fumaga has more.
The signing of the document, which spells out the terms and conditions of health service workers, would have been the framework for negotiations to begin. But the signing ceremony at the conference room of the Ministry of Health and attended by representatives from the Ghana Medical Association, Ghana Registered Nurses Association, Government and Hospital Pharmacists Association, and Health Service Workers Union had to be cancelled eventually. The GMA claim they have not had any meeting prior to the supposed signing or given details about the document.
Well, nothing has changed fundamentally. So as far as we are concerned, until our condition of service document has been negotiated, signed between the employer and the Ghana Medical Association on behalf of medical doctors and medical doctors only. When I say medical doctors, I mean physicians and dentists.
Exactly. The last time we checked, we know that the condition of service was presented. There was supposed to be a meeting, negotiation and all that. Have that taken place already?
Well, from where we sit, no negotiation has taken place between the ministry or the employer and Ghana Medical Association.
What has the ministry been telling you?
We are still waiting, that's all.
The ministry says it will reconvene another meeting to address all the outstanding issues.
Based on the fact that they want to go and further study the document. So tomorrow, the minister has given them tomorrow, everybody, all the unions to look at the various documents, and then maybe Wednesday, Friday, I should say, we will just come and just sign the document. So as you are aware, we are ready, but there are issues relating to finalizing that document, so we are unable to sign.
Now let's go back to our earlier story about President Mahama arriving at Bunahafo region as part of his regional working tour. He's scheduled to inspect a number of government projects and inaugurate finished ones. Nestor Kafuya Joma is in the region for us. He's joined me over the telephone with some details. Hello, Nestor. Hello? Hello, Nestor. Where in the region is the president at the moment?
The president has just arrived at Fitenta in the Brekum municipality of the Brong Ahafo region. And he's just finished exchanging pleasantries with the chiefs and the people of Fitenta.
Has the president been addressing the gathering at Fitenta as well?
The president arrived a few minutes ago and he has just finished exchanging pleasantries with the people.
Very well.
So
now take us through.
He has not yet spoken.
Very well. Take us through some of the projects we expecting the president to visit today.
Yeah. Today, the president will be commissioning a small town project at Fitenta, small town water project at Fitenta. The fact is we have about 15 of such projects dotted around the region, but the president cannot visit all the 15 projects. So he is commissioning the Fitenta one as a symbolic commissioning. From there, he will move to Brekum, also to cut sod for the construction of XYIP water extension project under the Ghana Water Company. Then from there, he will also move to Ntotroso for today.
Very well, we'll leave it here. Thank you very much, Nestor Kofi Ojoma joined us from the Bunahafo region. We can also go back to Parliament now, where the appointment committee of the House is recommended for approval Justice Appiah and Gabriel Puama for appointment as the Supreme Court, despite 2 petitions pending against Mr. Puama. And this is because the House has asked the petitioner to go to court to challenge Gabriel Puama's appointment because the issue raised is beyond the mandate of Parliament. Elton Broby has joined us over the line with more. Hello, Elton. Elton, what does this mean?
Well, the report of the Appointments Committee is rather asking Parliament to adopt the report and approve the nomination of Yawapo and Gabriel Puama for appointment to the Supreme Court. And in the same report, they have justified the reason why they are demanded this is done by the plenary of Parliament. Now, for Justice Yawapo, there isn't much about him that is raising our eyebrows. It's rather the former General Secretary of PNC, Gabriel Puama. As you are aware, before his birthing, some people submitted petitions to the Appointment Committee, and in the petition, they alluded to the fact that looking at the gravity of the situation that was at hand at the moment, it wasn't suitable for the position that it was appointed for by the president. Now, the committee is saying that they received 2 petitions against Gabriel Puama's nomination. Now, first one has to do with litigation involving title to land in respect of which the nominee, that's Gabriel Puama, represented one of the parties in the suit as counsel. Now, according to the committee, after perusing the relevant documents and meeting with the petitioner, the committee came to the conclusion that it was a matter in respect of which the committee lacked the jurisdiction to deal with it, and the issue raised both within the jurisdiction of the judiciary, and for that matter, the petitioner can go to court and then argue his case out on that particular issue. Now, the second petition according to the committee report to Parliament, was raised by a member of the disciplinary committee of the General Legal Counsel through the Chief Justice to the committee, drawing attention to the fact that at the time of the reformer's nomination, there was pending before the disciplinary committee a complaint against the nominee. Now, the committee therefore wrote to the Chief Justice requesting for the final decision of the disciplinary committee to assist in the assessment of the nominee's competence to occupy his designated position. Now, the committee is saying that the disciplinary committee of the General Legal Counsel wrote to the committee indicating that the complaint against the nominee has since been withdrawn, and so there was nothing wrong pending before it. So, in view of all this happening, they've recommended to the House to approve the nominee so that they can go and serve as Supreme Court judges. The House has yet to come to that conclusion. The Speaker has allowed members to contribute to the report of the committee, after which the question will be posed. By judging by the convention in the House, it is likely that these two individuals will be approved by Parliament to serve as Supreme Court as pending the final coronation by the President.
Very well. Now, we also know that popular radio presenter Blakk Rasta is to appear before the Privileges Committee. What have you picked up on that?
Well, you will be appearing. The public hearing will start at 1 p.m. The Privileges Committee will start this public hearing at 1 p.m. The last time I spoke to Blakk Rasta and his team, that was about 30 minutes ago. They were on their way to Parliament House, so I'm sure that by now they are there. And at 1 p.m., the hearing will start at the new block, where the media will be allowed access into the room to report on the proceedings. Some members of Parliament have been speaking to of the view that Parliament has been lenient in enforcing its own rules regarding contemptuous, comments made against them. So they want to use this as a test case, as an example, to tell the whole world that they have teeth to bite. For that reason, if members of the public denigrate them in a manner that is considered contemptuous to Parliament, they will drag them before the Privileges Committee and they will deal with them. I've been going through the standing orders of the committee, and I've been educating myself on the possible punishment if Blakk Rasta is found, guilty of the comments he's alleged to have passed on members of Parliament. The standing orders is quite silent on what can be on the recommendation that the committee can make for the House to approve, apart from demanding an official apology. Because if you look at the standing orders 1022, it talks only about a member of Parliament who is called before the Privileges Committee, and the member will be given within 7 days to apologize. If the member does not apologize, the Speaker has the power to withdraw some privileges, including salary of the member of Parliament, until the member of Parliament apologizes. It is silent on what can be done to an individual who is not a member of Parliament. So this is a test case that we are all...
It's a test case indeed.
The outcome.
Elton, thank you very much for the updates. Elton brought us updates from Parliament. Sarah Kwabla, the 23-year-old lady whose picture has been circulating online and in newspapers in connection with the Asamoah scandal, has said that she's not the lady in question. She told Joy News in an exclusive interview she does not know Asamoah, and contrary to rumors, she has nothing to do with him.
I don't know Asamoah. I have nothing doing with him. I just saw him on TV, and that's all. I was in my room that morning when a friend called me that that's what she saw online. And actually, I saw it myself. I didn't take it to be that serious. I said, we should forget about it. I didn't think it's anything serious. So friends keep on calling me, asking me about these things. And I was like, that's serious. I have to do something about it. And that was, I get back to Joy News to talk to everybody to know that I'm innocent. I'm not the one. I have nothing to do with Asamoah.
But the papers, if you look at the newspapers on online platforms, the picture there, can you confirm that that picture, particular picture, or those pictures are your pictures?
Yes, the picture is mine, but I'm not the one who is having the issue with Asamoah. The picture there is mine. And then I learned the girl bear the same name. So it might be like the person download my pictures on Facebook bearing the same name, because I learned the lawyer spoke with the girl, and then the girl bear the same name. because they buy the same and then they download my pictures and then they add it to it. But it's not me. I have nothing to do with Asamoah. I've not met him anywhere. I've not met him face by face before.
And this girl in question, you don't also know her at all?
No, I don't know her. I don't stay at Odoko. I stay at Nima.
Okay. And so, with all this attention, people calling and all that, how do you feel about this?
I feel very bad when I hear the news. I feel very bad. I can't even eat since morning.
Okay.
That's a tough one. But some armed persons have broken into the car of lawyer for the lady at the center of the controversy. Lawyer Morris Appiah has joined me over the telephone with more. Good afternoon, Lawyer Appiah. Hello, Appiah. Well, I think we've lost Lawyer Appiah over the telephone. We'll bring back this conversation when we get him back. But there's more ahead here. Don't go away. For staying on the program. So I was telling you that some unknown persons have broken into the car of lawyer for the lady at the center of the Asamoah sex scandal. Lawyer Morris Appiah has joined me over the telephone with details of this. Hello, Appiah.
Hello, my sister.
Share with us what happened.
I think just this morning I woke up to find out that my car had been vandalized. Those who committed that crime entered into my car, captured all my documents. There was 2,000 Ghana cedis in the car. They refused to take that money, and they were searching for whatever document and material, I don't know. And that's exactly what has happened to my car.
Well, but have you taken stock of the documents in your car, and is anything gone?
Yeah, I think that I keep my confidential documents somewhere. I hardly keep confidential documents in my car. So upon searching the car and seeing court risks and files and documents, they realized that the relevant document and whatever they came for could not be found. There was 2,000 Ghana cedis openly displayed in the car, and they refused to take that money.
What do you think they were looking for?
There was, I think, those who were looking for some information. They wanted some evidence, some material that people may think that maybe either it may be incriminating or I don't know.
Do you think this has anything to do with the case you're handling now in connection with?
I'm suspecting that it has, because people might think that I have certain confidential information that I might use, but I don't have. And so for them to break into my car, search everywhere in the car, captured on my document, and left the money, 2,000 Ghana cedis, openly displayed in the car, it's pretty strange.
Have you reported this matter to the police?
Yeah, I went to the court this very morning, and I'm on my way to the police station to make a formal complaint at the police station for proper investigation to be conducted.
Let's come to the issue proper. There are reports also that the police are saying the matter sent to the station is closed. Give us some clarity on this.
I think the police assertion is wrong. It's not closed because the police, Adoko police station was fully handling a suspected sex tape that is likely to be linked. And my client appeared and said, look, I have the tape, but I don't have any intention to link the tape. And that was the end. Then the issue of the pregnancy and the fertility test scheme, and it was discussed informally. I'm underlining the word, informally. Police did not take statement on that. We discussed it as a settlement issue where we were trying to resolve the matter without going to court. And settlement has broken down, so we are prepared to go to court on that. But later on, my friend informs me that he has a video showing some incriminating pictures, and then they have decided to go to Waju to report a case of sodomy and rape against Asamoah. And that's the
let's look at two issues you've mentioned right now. For the police, the fact that they gave the 2,000 cedis to you, which is what the Asamoah team had given, then that was case closed.
No, we see, that money was a money that was proposed, and my clients have rejected it outright. So what we need to do now is to go to court formally to seek a redress at the law court. as to whether the court will accept 2,000 as the maintenance and other things that go with it. And then also the issue of paternity test, then the court of law will determine.
But that money is still with you.
Yes, it's with me, and my clients have rejected it.
Let's look at the second. Let's look at the second issue. When you mentioned that your client showed you some videos or a tape with some incriminating things on it, what is this incriminating thing you're talking about?
I think that my client informs Asamaja, and Asamaja is aware. There was a serious communication that has been recorded where my client informed Asamaja that the video that they both recorded, she has not deleted hers. And Asamaja became furious and started ordering her to delete it. And my client said that no, if she needs that video in the form of evidence when Asamaja is denying paternity or so. So that became the issue that they reported the matter at the local police station. So as I speak now, my client informs me, and the what you at Accra Central, that's the military police, are now investigating a case of sodomy and rape against Asamaja.
Very well. We'll leave it here for now. This all time will allow. We'll continue this conversation in subsequent broadcasts. There's more to come here. Don't go away. Now, farmers are warning Ghana could be hit with a food crisis in the coming months due to the difficulty they are having to go through to access subsidized fertilizers. The farmers would typically rely on cheaper fertilizers under government's fertilizer subsidy program, but this, they say, has not been forthcoming. Buying off the open market at regular prices, however, means lower acreage and reduced yields, with implications for the country's overall food stock.
National Farmers and Fishers Award Winners Association of Ghana at a news conference in Accra expressed their frustrations over the delayed payment of subsidies on fertilizers under government's fertilizer subsidy program. The delay has shot up market prices, with a 50-kilogram bag going for more than 100 cedis. Chairman of the association, Davis Koboy, tells Joy Business most farmers are having to cultivate without fertilizers because it is well beyond their means.
The subsidy is meant to target the smaller holder farmers and the women. And apparently, I don't think they have the money to go to the open market to buy fertilizer between 120 and 130 Ghana cedis per bag. What is going to happen, in effect, is that if they even do that, then they are not going to apply the required fertilizer as requested. So we still think that government should be able to do something.
Are we likely to see any food shortage should this continue?
Of course, because with even the weather, the climate change is seriously affecting us. If you look at the rainfall pattern this season, it's so bad. And we felt that if we had even applied fertilizer, that could have even boosted the yield. But having done that, and also looking at the north, we think that the south, the large farmers, they have been able to do their part. But we should be able to, the onus lies on government to be able to deal with the northern belt to enable us have better yield.
The farmers want government to expedite action on reviving the subsidy program, which will make them pay about 80 cedis for the 50-kilogram bag instead of the over 100 cedis it is currently priced.
Our plea is to make sure the subsidy programs work. Once it works, that's why I said that most of the things, this thing can be termed as public goods, where government facilitates fertilizer application in the country. In any case, agric in Ghana is private-led, being facilitated by government. So that is why we are saying that we have done our part. Of course, if a fertilizer is being sold for 1 or something and we are paying 80 something, and government is paying the 21%, I think we've done quite a good job. So we are just appealing to government to also try as much as they can to sort the subsidy out.
The association has also called on one of the main suppliers under the subsidy program, Yara, to return to the scheme and support farmers while they continue to dialogue with government to settle their issues.
Next, here's Sports with Kwame Jumo.
Sports now and continue a build up to the big testimonial game that will be played at Accra Sports Stadium later this weekend. And the current generation of Black Stars players led by Asamaja say they're going to support the program later this Saturday.
Here to support our great captain, our great leader. You know, when I talk about a great leader, I'm talking about Stephen Appiah. You know, he has served the nation for quite a long time. You know, and this is the time we need to, and we have to honor his services to the nation. You know, and so we are here to just support him in everything that he does. You know, this is a great event coming up, and we are here to support him. You know, so personally and on behalf of the team here right now, we are inviting everybody to the Accra Sports Stadium. You know, to witness a great event.
And the big question is what Stephen Appiah is going to be doing when he officially retires later this Sunday. And former Blakk Star striker Augustine Ahimfo is backing the player for management.
There's always life after football. I was in the Blakk Star before Stephen came. I left before he's leaving now. And so I already want to say that watch him. Let's pray for him. Health is what he has to look at. I mean, if you have life, you have everything ahead of you. Besides football, there's a lot he can do to help. The younger teams, there's a GFA where he can always come in to help. Some of us are already involved in the GFA, and so I believe the future is bright.
Thank you very much for staying on the program. Let's end the bulletin with a rather trending story of how a ball boy is captured in the Jamapur report as having received 100,000 cedis during the 2014 Brazil World Cup on the Ghana side. Gary Alsmith is here with me, who shares some details with us. What is this we're hearing?
Yeah, being charitable. It's $100,000.
$100,000. What does this ball boy do?
Okay, so the opinions are split in two, with people who feel that we may be downplaying the importance of this equipment officer. That's his official title.
Okay.
Yes, but if you've watched...
So it's not like he just throws ball, picks balls?
Yes.
That's not it?
That's not all he does. However, his job has to do with making sure that the player suitcases, the kits, the jerseys and everything are in order. So as they travel around the world, everything is in order for the team, which is an integral part of it. However, and this is not like the opinion of journalists, however, the Jamapur Commission report on page 46, if you read it, says that, and I'm quoting, it is outrageous that somebody of the job description of a ball boy equipment officer should be getting the same $100,000 in appearance fees as the Blakk Stars who are playing the football
for 90
itself,
minutes.
For 90 minutes for the duration of the tournament. So the report feels that he may be given something, but the $100,000 is too much. And also a key thing is that the GFA noted his name as part of the technical team. And when you think of technical team, ball boy doesn't come to mind.
The ball boy shouldn't be in the technical team.
Yes, that is what the commission
What is the report's recommendation going forward?
It says that, I mean, it should be cut.
It should be cut out. But for you people in the sports world, what does this do to you? Does it make you want to change your profession? I mean, that's just by the way.
Well, no, it's a valid question because, I mean, in a vox pop that was done on Joy, you had a sense that people were saying the same thing. But maybe, and the GFA constantly say that the wider populace don't appreciate some of the nuances of what people do. And so I think that if that is the case, then probably they should intensify their education.
What is the GFA's, defense for giving the ball boy $100,000?
Because they say that he's part of the technical team.
I see. We'll leave it here. Thank you very much. Right. Gary L. Smith is with our sports desk here. And look again at our top stories. Some casual workers at Jeddah protest new recruitment by outgoing Chief Executive Kobiye Champon. Checks by Joy News reveal government's promise to provide temporary shelters in 48 hours to displaced residents of Old Fadama is yet to start. Meanwhile, a significant number still linger around the demolished sites because that is where they make ends meet. Well, in a few minutes, popular reggae musician and radio presenter Blakk Rasta is expected to appear before Parliament Privileges Committee. You can watch more on that on the Pulse later here on Joy News at 3 p.m. That's it for the hour. Thank you very much for staying through. My name is Kemini Nyamani Amana. Goodbye.